Hi, friends. This is Edie Summers, and I'm back in the park. And I'm going to take you to the other side of the park right now. So I think this is where I'm taking you, or where the cedar trees are. So hopefully I have that name right. I think they have little placards. So I'll see we'll see when we get there if I'm right. Those are cedar trees. But yeah, I'm back in one of my favorite parks, and just wanted to share a little bit with you about one of the things I love to do to de-stress and stay in balance and get back out in nature. It's super pretty today. There's still lots of birds singing. And so can you see behind me look how pretty that is? I won't be able to flip this around because of the um, thing that I'm on, but you can still kind of see hopefully behind me and around. So yeah, let's take a walk, and I'll make my way over to those trees, but I might take you a different route. So I don't know how long my battery is gonna last, just so you know. Actually, what I might do is take you to a backside of the park first, where there's some old growth, and then if I can, I'll make my way over to those cedar trees. Otherwise, I'll take you over there another time. But I'm trying to go to less walked part of the parks, like where there are a little less people. It's pretty sunny today, and I think a lot of people are at work. Can you hear that bird? Anyway, it's super pretty. Can you see behind me? This is a little bit of behind me, and then yeah, it's really sunny today. Super pretty, pretty calm. There aren't as many people out as sometimes there are. Sometimes they have kids in here because they have like nature programs and things like that. But today we got pretty lucky. Kids are great, but it's a little more quiet in the park, and a lot of people are at work too, so that's nice. So there's a little more solitude right now, which is kind of nice. So right now I'm on one of the main roads on here, but I'm gonna veer off. And if you hear me stop talking for a little bit, it's because I'm passing some people. But first I'll take you to some old growth that's pretty close by. And then I'll try to make it over to these really cool cedar trees, which are on the other side. But I might get some of the names wrong here of some of the trees, but check out this tree. Can you see that moss? Isn't that cool? The light's pretty good today. So it's a good day to see how really pretty this park is, and there's still a lot of birds out, which I love too. There are some people in here, like rangers today, like kind of cleaning up the park, which is kind of nice. They keep this park really well maintained. So, so here I'm gonna go onto I'm trying to find this side road here. Hang on a second. Let me get over here.
That
Looking great. Okay, here comes the road. So we're gonna go on a kind of a side road, a side path. So now I'm off the main road, and you can see behind me, this is where we're headed. Isn't that cool? So I wanted to share something kind of exciting with you too. So my channel is all about wellness, and wellness can mean a lot of things, right? Like it's a pretty broad term. To me, it's resilience. It's a way of living. It's living holistically. It's showing up for yourself. It's feeling connected, never giving up, taking care of yourself, connecting with others. Wellness is a broad term, but I have a wellness channel, and I want to share something really exciting with you. I'm also a writer, so I guess you could say I'm an artist as well. So in addition to teaching yoga, I teach yoga, and I also have a lot of yoga videos on here and meditation videos, and I teach other kinds of fitness too, like barre. Just got trained in dance fitness, Zumba. Um, But I'm also a writer, and I've written a lot of books. The main book is called The Memory of Health, and that's on health and well-being, and that's on my journey through chronic fatigue. I developed health issues in my early 20s. Can you see behind me? There's so many cool places to go here. Let me show you another road. We're not going to go down this one today, but here's another one. There's so many paths, and this is the one we just came from. But in addition to several books that I've written, I wrote a screenplay. And with AI now, I'm going to turn my screenplay. It's like an outdoor adventure, but it's all about resilience. And it's about not letting life, kind of like knowing that you can survive no matter what. So I'm going to turn my screenplay into a video series here on YouTube. Now, if anyone has any tips for the best way to do that, I would love to know, because right now I'm seeing a lot of platforms where you can do it's like I have a full-on screenplay, and so I'm trying to figure out if I could find one platform that I could use that for to tell the whole story would be amazing. So far, it looking like I'm gonna have to stitch it together. If anyone has any tips, please let me know. Okay, look behind me. Now we're getting into a deeper part of the forest, but you can tell there aren't as many people back here, which I kind of like. It's kind of nice to be, that's where we just came from. And now, pretty soon we'll be getting close to some old growth here, and it's more quiet in here. Oh, I think there's some old growth coming up here. Don't quote me on this. It's hard to know exactly which trees are old growth, but you can kind of tell almost because some of them have like more moss on them, like on the branches, like behind me. I don't know if you can see that up high. I mean, it's kind of hard to show, but you might be able to see that there's moss on there. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, this part of the forest is really cool. Here, I'll try to give you a better shot of this. This looks like an old growth tree to me, right behind me. I'm gonna try and tilt it up. You see that? Yeah, that tree is amazing. There are so many trees in here. It's nuts. They're everywhere. And they're so pretty, and there's so many paths to take. So, okay. So I'm going to take you through kind of the back part of the park, and then I'll try to make my way over to these cedar trees. So anyway, yeah, I have a screenplay, and it's an adventure story. I won't go into too many of the details right now, but I wrote it when I was 25. I wrote it a while ago. I've had it for a while, and I did try to shop it around in Hollywood, and I got a little bit of a bite because people were looking for female protagonists. I have a female protagonist in it, but there are a lot of guys in it too. So it's kind of written for a 20 something, but it's an outdoor adventure, but it's all about resilience. And I think that ties in really well to everything that I love to talk about, which is wellness, because it's kind of like knowing that no matter what life throws at you, you can survive it type of thing. So anyway, I'm working on bringing that to life, and I'm gonna, hi, Brittany. Thanks for watching. Sorry, I'm slow to respond to comments sometimes because I am so like focused on talking and walking. But yeah, so anyway, I'm super excited. Sorry guys, I got knocked out. That may happen again, and just so you know, it's probably because my phone is pretty full. I'm a content creator, probably like a lot of you are, and it's like an ongoing issue with kind of like not having enough kind of room on my phone for stuff. And I'm noticing that streaming, you need more room on your phone, right? Like So anyway, sorry about that. It may happen again. We're coming up on a clearing here. People have cut some of the trees down so you can sit on them. Show you that. It's really pretty. And again, there's like another diverging path here too, but right behind me, can you see that in the clearing? There are a whole bunch of places to sit. So it's really pretty. So people will come back here and just hang out. And then there's another path, which we're not going to go down today, although it's tempting. There's so many paths in here. But I really like this clearing in here. It's a nice place to sit if you've been like walking for a while, which in this place is easy to do. For those of you who don't know, this is about 60 acres in here, and it used to be a farm. And now these are trees, and these trees have been around for a while. A lot of them have been around for a while, and then some of them are old growth too. So I have another video you can check out where I took you down to some of these really, really old trees that are all like standing together. It's like a grove of trees. The other walk with me that's on my channel here, the first walk with me that I did takes you there. Um, so right now, can you see behind me? We're in a pretty shaded part, and there aren't a lot of people here, which I usually like. Sometimes I don't, you know. Sometimes it makes me a little nervous, but not usually. It's very different here in the park. As it gets toward dusk, um, it's kind of got a different vibe. And sometimes when I'm walking in here, um, sometimes there are random people like off the path, just kind of hanging out, and that can be a little disconcerting sometimes. But anyway, generally speaking, I feel pretty safe in here. Okay, so I think we're coming up. I don't really know exactly where all the old growth is in here, but I'm going to turn it around this way so you can see. Look how pretty. Isn't that stunning? Anyway, so that's where we're headed into. Here, let me turn it around because it's really like where we just were was a little more like canopied where I just came from. And then we're walking into this like really more like open part with really, really tall trees. I think this is where some of the old growth is. I hope this isn't making you dizzy. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to keep going this way, and then I'm going to try to take you around to these cedar trees if my um, streaming and phone last here. And I apologize in advance if I get kicked out again. But yeah, I really, since it's summer, well, not summer, but almost, and I live in Oregon. So we get, it's like overcast half the year or raining, and there isn't a lot of sun. A lot of people are like really lacking in sun up here, I think, for half the year. So when it gets nice out this time of year, hi, Edward, hi, Brittany. It's really nice to it's important. It's almost critical to get outside and get fresh air, get sun and nature. Like I'm really lucky that one of the reasons I chose to stay in Oregon, I'm from Utah, and I lived there for quite a while, but one of the reasons I chose to stay here is because it's so beautiful. Utah is beautiful too, by the way. Isn't that pretty? That's where we're going. I mean, it's really pretty everywhere here. But I really need to be outside and be in nature, and it grounds me. It makes me feel so much better, and I start to feel really cooped up, in the wintertime. So yeah, and this is one of my favorite places to go. It's pretty close to where I live, so it's one of the reasons I chose to live here, to stay here, is because of this park. Okay, so we're coming to another fork in the road, and last time I took you down that way. That's my other video, the first video, Walk With Me, which I did a couple weeks ago. It's on my channel. You can check it out. And there's all these incredible trees down there, like really old growth, really, really pretty. And this is where we just came from. And I think this is where there are more old growth. So we just came from there. And now I'm going to take you down this way. And we're going to go to another part of the park and then cross over if I can. And then I'll take you to those cedar trees. So it's going to take a while to get there, though. I don't know if my phone is going to last. It may or may not. But yeah, this forest almost looks like very ancient. It has like this kind of ancient feel to it. And like right now I'm watching like this beautiful yellow butterfly pass me. Can you see it? Can you see that butterfly? There's so many, there are deer in here. There are rabbits. I think there are a coyote in here. There are lots of birds. Right now it's super calm, super pretty. Oh yeah, this butterfly is just hanging out. Oh, there it goes. A lot of butterflies in here. I think they're monarchs, but I'm not sure. This one's really pretty and it's hanging around. I think you can see it. Yeah, and anyway, so and oh my gosh, and it's just so healing and it's so calming in here and my nervous system needs that. Like I really need a lot of help calming my nervous system. It's like an ongoing issue. So I practice yoga. That helps me. I teach yoga. I teach it here on YouTube and I teach it locally. Um, and yoga really helps me and walking in nature really helps me. Oh, here's another trail. I may have gotten those trails wrong. This is the trail I went down in the last video. There's so many beautiful trails here. I may be getting lost, to tell you the truth. I have to pay attention. I want to make sure I'm going the right way here. Okay, I'm trying to get us back over to this main kind of artery and road so that I can take you to the other side. Okay, there's a chance I'm lost right now. Okay, no, here we go. I know where I am. So we're not there yet. Here are a whole bunch of logs. Can you see them behind me? I think that they're from a whole bunch of trees. We had a windstorm here. This was a long time ago. And I think a bunch of trees fell down. And I think that's what these are. Oh yeah, winds of change. Yeah, it was hundreds of trees blew over 2006. And so some of the trees that you'll find in here are Douglas fir, red alder, red elderberry, but I also think there are cedar. And there are all sorts of birds in here, woodpeckers, owls. Apparently there are some owls. I've seen owls like just hanging out, but apparently there's a new issue where the owls will like attack people. I haven't had that happen to me yet, thank goodness. That doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Um, anyway, and lots of tiny birds, you know, singing, and especially this time of year. Okay, I think I know where I am now. Here's yet another trail that we're not going down. That's the one I took you down before. That's the one that goes to all of these huge, tall, old growth trees that I took you to in my last video. But now I'm trying to get back to the main road here, and then we'll go to the other side, hopefully. But anyway, so I love to walk. I've always walked, and but it's a real treat to walk in this park because it's also like a dose of nature. And nature, I find it really calming for me. It it helps my nervous system, and it also makes me feel connected, which is super important, I think. I feel connected to something greater than me, you know, so that always gives me hope. And anyway, so it's really nice to be able to get out this time of year. And it also reminds me of when I was younger, my family used to take us camping, and it has that kind of that smell of camping a little bit, you know. And I don't know if it's just the soil or here's where we're headed. And we're headed back to, we're going to get back on a main road pretty soon. And here's where we just came from. Isn't that pretty? Look how pretty. It's relatively sunny today, and today is getting hot, so I'm pretty lucky that I'm here in the park. It's cooler in the park. It's like 10 degrees cooler, so that makes it a little easier to walk. It's gonna get pretty hot though, so and I'm not gonna stay out here too long, but it's nice to be out here. We're lucky to have these trees because they definitely cool everything down, and in Oregon there are trees everywhere, so even around my house I have a lot of trees, which I know you're not necessarily supposed to do, but I find they really cool down my house too. So, but of course, all these birds are hanging out. Can you hear those birds? They're hanging out in the trees too. And oh, here's a tree that recently that fell down. I don't know if you can see that. Look at all that moss. And a lot of times they'll cut up trees that have fallen down. There are tons of ferns in here. Let me show you these ferns. I mean, it almost looks like prehistoric in here. A lot of trees will grow together in here. It's just really, really stunning, really relaxing. Okay, now we're getting back to the main road. And I'm going to take you down part of the way that I've gone before. This is one of my favorite parts of the park. It's really pretty and pretty well traveled. A lot of people come on here. You can see we're back on like a concrete part of it, but it's like a bigger road and it goes both directions and it goes around the park, this concrete part. I'm going to go down this way and then cut across to these cedar trees, hopefully. That will take us in the back part of the park, which I don't go to too often because there aren't as many people back there. But there are some really cool like reeds back there. So this all depends on if my streaming stays working here and my phone stays on. I apologize in advance if we get cut off again. Okay, so now we're coming to a more sunny part of the park and it's really pretty in here. There are a lot of benches in here. And you know, this is the kind of place that I was saying in the last time I did this video that a lot of people will come here like every day. And I mean, it's like a ritual for people to come in here and walk. You get your exercise in, you get a de-stress. Parts of the park have sun. Like I'm in a really sunny part of the park right now. And it's just a way to kind of gather yourself again. And, you know, I think walking, it helps me like not think as much. It helps me from overthinking, which is really, really helpful. You can see there used to be a lot of water in here and you can see it's kind of dried up. There's an actual river or creek coming up here. I'll show that to you. And it's a lot of people will stop along here and listen to the river. Then I'm gonna go through this part and then cut across and take you to one of my favorite parts of the park. This part is really sunny. It's nice to get some sun too. It's so important. Look how sunny it is. We're coming up to, I'm on a bridge right now, and then we're coming up to some water, although it's pretty dry right now. I don't know how much the water is going to be running, but oh yeah, you can hear it. Okay, I'll let you listen to the river here. It has a really beautiful sound. It might be better, it might be easier to hear on this side. Can you hear that water and see that water? Isn't that nice? Water. This is really peaceful in here. And then we're coming up to, now we're gonna walk up. You can see where we just walked across the bridge. Now I'm gonna take you to one of my favorite parts and then we'll cut over and maybe go to these cedar trees. Right behind me are two trees that grow together. Look at that. And there's a nice bench where people can sit. We're coming up to a really pretty part of the park. I'm going to get off the main part here and take you to my absolutely favorite trail. I'm getting onto it right now. I'll flip the camera around once we get a little bit inside of it more, but this is my favorite trail. Yeah, and it's just I just find it really relaxing to walk. And here we go. This is where we're headed. Isn't that pretty? So again, there are less people back here. And this is my absolute favorite part of the park. Oh, I should have put my I have like a little mosquito bracelet thing that I wear that has, I think, citronella on it. I should have put that on. There aren't too many mosquitoes around here, but I'm not a fan of bugs like biting my body. This is my absolute favorite part. So you can see, isn't that beautiful? You can kind of see like broken trees and then look the opposite direction. It's just super stunning. It's like a sanctuary back here. It's really hard to show on camera, but this is where we just came from. Isn't that pretty? It's super, super peaceful back here. Super green. The trees are incredible. I wish I could show you how pretty this is. Let me try one more time. You can kind of see, look, it's kind of hard to show. When I watch this back, I can tell that it comes across better than I can see on camera right now. Okay, so now we're going deeper into the back part of the park, and then I'm going to cut over and take you through the back, which we're getting to the place where there aren't a lot of people back here. And then there are reeds growing back here, or I forget, is it bamboo? Bamboo reeds, I think. There's just so many surprises in this park. In the other video that I made, I take you to a lily pond that's in here, which is really, really pretty. That's on the other side of the park. I'm not going there today, but you can check it out in my other video, Walk With Me. And it's a really gorgeous lily pond, really stunning. But today, I'm taking you to where these really tall cedar trees are. And then on the way there are, I think, I want to say bamboo reeds. I might be saying that wrong. And in the first video I made, I took you down to see this other old growth part of the park where these really tall trees, there's like a whole grove of old growth trees. That's in the other video that I made, Walk With Me, here on YouTube. I made that a couple weeks ago. So you can check that out too if you want to see those. I'm not going there today because this park is huge. This park is like 60 acres. Used to be a farm. And then they just let it grow wild. Of course, they cultivate it, right? Like they make pathways and they keep it really well groomed. And okay, so now pretty soon we're going to see these reeds. I think they're bamboo. And we're kind of on the edge of the park now. We're heading to the other side, getting to a sunny part again. And so like there's a max line that runs out here and like I can actually see a building coming up. So you have like little hints of the outside world, but the park still feels like a sanctuary, and that's what I love about it. And so people literally come in here and walk, they run, some people forest bathe, and it's just a great way to feel grounded and stay connected. And here's a lupine. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. Isn't that pretty? There are tons of wildflowers still. Lots of yellow flowers. There are wild roses in here. There are white flowers that look like daisies. And in the beginning, they have like a center and they grow herbs and flowers there, and then they have them all named and super pretty. Okay, so pretty soon should be, I think, bamboo reeds. Here we go. They're coming up. I think that's what they are. Maybe someone can tell me. And the first time I saw these, I was pretty amazed because they're kind of hard to see in here. Can you see that? I'm going to show you. Aren't these bamboo? Look, they're everywhere. Now there are a lot of other weeds in here right now, so they're kind of hard to tell, but hopefully you can see that those are, I think they're bamboo. Isn't that pretty? They're everywhere in here, so it's almost like a little bamboo section of it. And then there's another part of the park that also has bamboo, and it's just so cool, all the different things that you find in here. Okay, now we're going around the back part of the park. There's more bamboo. Here's some more. Can you see? Is it bamboo? Does anyone know? They're all over the place here. Oh, they're like reeds. Maybe they're not bamboo, but they're reeds. Do you see those? They're everywhere. Aren't those pretty? It's everywhere. Look at that. There's some that are greener. Hey. Yeah, and like when it gets more rainy, everything gets greener in here, and like the moss gets greener, and it's pretty stunning to walk year round. I don't come in when it gets like super cold in here. There's still tons of reeds in here and even wildflowers. There's some wildflowers. Can you see those? Pink flowers among the reeds. You can look back and see. Can you see all those reeds? They're everywhere. Look at that. It just goes on and on. They might be hard to see because of there are weeds here too. Here's some more reeds. And then we're coming on a bridge. And here's some wild roses. I don't know, hopefully you can see these. Look at these wild roses. Aren't they pretty? They're pink. Aren't those pretty? Wild roses. I never knew that there were wild roses up until I came into this park. I'm coming up on a bench, and a lot of people will come back here and hang out. There are benches all over the park. There are a lot of like bigger birds in here too, like heron. You'll see them in some of the lakes around the park. I mean, it's incredible. And like the lily pond, which again is in the other video that I shot from a couple weeks ago. It's also called Walk With Me. I take you to the lily pond, and there'll be like ducks in that pond, and it's really idyllic. Super pretty. Here are a ton of yellow flowers. I forget what these are called. They say at the beginning of the park what they're called, but aren't those pretty? There is a dried up creek here, but a lot of times, especially as it starts to rain, you can hear more water running everywhere. And yeah. So now we're in the back of the park on the other side. I don't come here as often. Somebody left. Somebody left something there. I was sharing in my other video that years ago, when I first started coming here, somebody left a bunch of dream catchers, and they specifically wrote notes too, saying, "Here, these are for you. Take these dream catchers." Not for me personally, but like for anyone in the park. So they left a whole bunch of them, and that was super cool to be like walking along, and then all of a sudden there's a dream catcher, and it's like, "Here, take me." Um, can you see this is where we're coming from? And then, yeah, we're going around the back side of the park now, and relatively soon we'll be at these incredible cedar trees where a lot of people will go to hang out and sit because they're so big and they're so grounding. People love to go and just sit. People will come in from the max if they have a break, or maybe if they work in some of the buildings around here, and they'll just come and sit and hang out by those trees. So we'll be there pretty soon. Can you see behind me? That's where we're coming from. This is a more narrow pathway. Definitely soil back here. There's a lot of paths in this forest. I don't know how many paths they have, but you can really walk in here. You could probably walk in here for half a day before you covered all the paths. And people will come in here, like I said, almost every day, because you can really change up your path pretty much every day and do something different in here and never get bored. And if you're someone who's really wants to get your walking in or running in, it's the perfect place to in nature get that fresh air and stay motivated while you're running or walking. It's really nice just to stroll too. So that's where we just came from. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? That's where we just came from. You might be able to start hearing the Max pretty soon here. I can hear the train from here. Um, yeah, and the landscape is changing. It almost looks and smells and feels different than the other side of the park. I don't know if there's as much rain over here, or it reminds me a little more, some parts of the park that are sunnier and drier, they remind me more of Utah, like Utah up in the mountains hiking versus here where the more rain you get, the more moss you get, and the greener everything gets. And so parts of the park are greener than others, although it's all green. And there are trees everywhere. That's never going to change. But yeah, it's really interesting how in such a big park, depending on where you walk, it can almost feel like a different climate. And that's really true for Oregon and probably a lot of places, but you get these microclimates. So that's kind of trippy. You can probably hear you might be able to hear that train, that Max train. Okay. I don't usually come over here too often because it's a little noisier, so I don't come here as often. But it's worth showing you those cedar trees. I usually go the other way to get to them, but this backside is nice too for walking, and we're almost there. I'm going to show you where we're heading into. Sorry about that. I got cut off. Yeah, so look at that huge tree right behind me. That's potentially a cedar tree, and that's where I'm going to show you on the other side here. So we're getting there. So I got knocked out of my stream again there, but there actually isn't a lot of, I'm on Wi-Fi here, and there's not a lot of, may not be much of a signal. I'm not sure. My battery's getting low too, so hopefully my phone will make it until I can take you to these trees. You can look behind me. Ooh, here's a really cool tree. Look at these roots. Look at that. You see those roots? Look at that. Okay. So we're getting close to the other side now. Here's a bridge. And we're going to go across the bridge, and then the cedar trees are just right up here. Now, the other direction, if you were to keep walking, this is where we're headed. And if you were to keep walking behind me, that takes you up to the Max. This part is really, really sunny. One of the sunniest parts of the park. You can see the water. Sorry about that, guys. I keep getting knocked out. I think my battery's getting low, but we're just about here to the cedar trees. So I'm just crossing this huge bridge. We came from the back side of the park, and stay tuned because these cedar trees are worth seeing. Yeah, we just crossed over this really huge bridge, and It's now we're coming up to a very, very peaceful part of the park. Ooh, it's getting hot. Oh my gosh. So there's, you can see behind me where we just came from. Look at that. It's a pretty long bridge. And then coming up here are the cedar trees. Okay, this is where we're headed into. Isn't that pretty? And I'll show you when we get up here too. I think they have a placard for what these are named. It's definitely almost getting a little too hot to hike now. Here is a part that I used to go into, but now they have it fenced off. But there's a really pretty lake over there. Look how pretty this is. The trees are coming right up here. There's some right over here. You can see them. This is where we just came from. And then here come the trees. Okay. I think there are several sets of them. Can you see that? That's pretty. It's nice and shaded. It smells amazing. It almost smells like vanilla. Look at how beautiful these trees are. Yeah, and there's like a whole little meadow right over there, which I can show you more. Isn't that pretty? There's one more section to it coming up here. I'm really surprised that no one's here hanging out because usually people are sitting under these trees. You can really see it back there. Isn't that pretty? It's a really beautiful, peaceful part of the park. And then look over here. Look how pretty those are. Yeah, so I'm gonna start heading back on the other side here, and I'll show you a little bit more. I don't know how much longer my phone is gonna last here, but there's another bench coming up. There's a really pretty meadow coming up. Again, here's a nice shot of these trees. Look how pretty. It's like a grove of, I think they're cedar trees. Look how pretty. Isn't that pretty? People will come and hang out in this part for a long time because it's super peaceful, and you can kind of come here and almost like meditate with the trees in some ways. And then we're coming back to a sunny part and then crossing over yet another smaller bridge. And then there's like this whole kind of water area in here. Oh, wow, it's really changed. It almost looks like you kind of, it might be too sunny to see, but it's also very pretty. There are just so many pretty parts. I don't know if you can see this. It might be too dark to see. Here's another wild rose. Wild rose. Isn't that pretty? And we're coming into a more shaded part of the park. I'm starting to walk uphill now. This is what we're walking into. Super, super pretty. We just came from here. And those cedar trees back there, kind of a grove of cedar trees. Now I'm starting to walk up and I'm going to start heading back on the opposite side of the park. I don't come on this side as much, but it's still really, really pretty. This is what it looks like. You can hear more traffic on this side, but it's still very pretty. The other side is, generally speaking, much more quiet. This is pretty quiet too, usually, but not always. But it's very, very, very pretty. Look at this. Almost like some of the trees are almost like silver. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? It's like a silver tree. Oregon has really stunning trees. And actually, there's another place here, not here. This is a nature park, but there's an arboretum here in Oregon and it has incredible trees from like all over the world and really stunning. Maybe one of these days I'll go there and film there. It's really cool. That's actually a place where I also saw an owl and I hung out with this owl. It was perched up way high in a tree forever. And I just kind of waited there with it. And it turns out it was hunting. I didn't know what it was doing, but it was hunting. Look at these trees. Aren't those pretty? That's where we came from. There's another path. This is where we're headed. So now I'm headed back on the outer edge of the park. And yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit more. There's some pretty parts along here. This is where we're walking along. Super, super pretty. There's another really pretty tree. Look at those. Just look at the pattern on these trees. And there are still a lot of wildflowers out. Not as many as there were a couple weeks ago, but there's still a lot of wildflowers. So it's still really pretty. And oh, yeah, there's so many different paths you can go on down here. So coming up on another bridge. Here's a squirrel. There are a lot of squirrels in here too. And like when it starts to get rainy, there are a lot of newts in here. They're very cute. Excuse me, they look like little lizards. Here's a really pretty bridge that we're walking across. Can you hear those birds? Yeah, it's just super peaceful and we're almost at the end. Again, this park is kind of goes 60 acres and you can really walk throughout it probably all day if you wanted to, or half a day, and never get bored because there are so many paths and there's another bench coming up and it's very, very peaceful. It's a great way to get your exercise. That's where we just came from. Isn't that pretty? All different kinds of trees in here. So many paths. So, so pretty. Oh, there's a bird's nest. Hopefully you can hear those birds too. I didn't see any owls or woodpeckers today, but it's kind of fun to find woodpeckers and owls. They're both more rare to find in the park, but you can definitely find them. Yeah, and just this is a nice part of the park. I like all parts of the park. There really isn't like a bad part of the park, but it's just nice to get out and even if I don't do anything but just walk and not think. Sometimes I like to play music. Uh, It'd be nice to listen to podcasts out here, or even if you're studying, right, you can listen to the audio version of whatever you're studying. And I just find it's a good way to work through a lot of things. And here are a whole bunch of trees that they made into like a place to sit. Isn't that cool? Can you hear those birds? They have a lot of places like that here where you can just hang out, whether it's like the stump of a tree to sit on or a bench. And just the longer I walk in here, like I really feel my nervous system like calming down. And then at some point in my walk, I really start to feel more present and and just more relaxed. And that's what makes me feel really good. And so, and I feel more connected. And those are the reasons and I also really experience a lot of awe in here because it's so beautiful. And I think awe is also something that we don't get enough of, in this world. I mean, there's beauty all around us, and a lot of us don't we're so busy, we're so rushed that we don't really take the time to slow down and look around and see what's around us. Ooh, there's some more really pretty moss coming up. I'll show you when we get to the back side of it. We'll hear. There it is. Can you see that? That moss, that tree in the light. And it's still spring, which is kind of amazing. Look at all that. Look how pretty. Hopefully you can see that. It's really stunning, especially when the light filters through. It's just so pretty. So that's where we just came from. Every part of this park is absolutely stunning. There's not one part that I don't like. And it's almost like a little adventure every time I come out here. And I was saying in my last video that I did walk with me. I did one a couple weeks ago. That I've made friends in this park just by continuously passing them. If you pass someone over and over again, sometimes you actually stop and talk, right? And then sometimes you become friends. So that's pretty wild. So I've made 2 friends in this park. Here's some more. I don't know if you can see this. Look how pretty. You can really see with hopefully the light, you can see like the trees here get really stunning, especially when they get moss on them. And you can just see there are just trees everywhere. Trees, and that's where we just came from. So I'm getting close to the front of the park, and I can tell that my battery is, I have some battery, but missing a little bit here. So I'll probably log off pretty soon, but thank you so much for walking with me. I'll stay on just a little bit longer here. There's still some really pretty parts of the park coming up, but I'll just show you this part. Look at that. Look how pretty. So thanks for walking with me today. I keep getting knocked out of the studio. I think it's because I'm running out of battery on my phone probably. So thanks for walking with me. Nice to chat with you again. And I look forward to next time. Take care and I'll see you soon. Bye.